Yeah, it was a tough game for us tonight. I know several of their opponents have felt that way afterwards. We were, hoping to do a little bit better job of executing offensively, getting a few more points on the board than we did. Defensively, I thought we were actually okay in the half court, but when you're letting them run out in transition off your turnovers or off some transition opportunities, it's tough. And then the board play was very disappointing. So we've talked about it as a group, and we'll continue to address it.
All right, start out from Randall and go to Paige.
Coach, if there's one positive about this game, it's Tamar Key. 16 minutes, moved on the floor pretty well, rebounded the basketball. Now I have a two-part question. How good is it to see her play 16 minutes? And then Jillian Hollingshed looked so much more comfortable on the floor with Tamari. Is that something that can help going forward? Yeah,
so Tamari is coming off her two best practices of the year, where she looked good. And I was really excited about this game for her, getting her in, and even told her what to expect. And then today she looks so much more comfortable moving out on the floor. So that's a great positive for us. Really proud of her for hanging in there and really working hard to get to this point, and we'll continue to find ways to progress her. I think Jillian, we're still trying to work through some things with Jillian in terms of where we need to get her. She's had a big bulk of she spent a bulk of her time down low on the block, so we were going to try to move her around a little bit. You can see that. I think that's probably what you're referencing. When Tamari gets to be the presence in the paint, it frees Jillian up a little bit.
Go Paige, Casey, Cora, and then Jack.
On offense, you guys got plenty of shots up, just not as many as you felt tonight. What led to the troubles, kind of behind the arc and then not getting those layups tonight?
Yeah, we didn't have the balance that we needed. We weren't aggressive enough getting to the basket. We'll go back and really, we'll pick it apart. We'll look at every shot that's taken and see if that was a good shot. I think most of them were. I think we took good shots and just didn't go in, and told the players to keep shooting with confidence. We took a few that I thought we could have gotten the ball inside, so there will be a few that we would maybe have traded for a different opportunity. But we've got kids that have to step up and shoot with confidence because we need that.
As Tamari continues to progress in getting that, what can she offer to this team that you might not have seen in these first 8 games?
Oh, I think Tamari gives you a presence in the paint on both ends of the court. The other thing I think she brings is a lot of experience and, quite honestly, some poise. I saw some poise from her tonight that I was really proud of and impressed with. So, I think her voice is important. As well as all the things that we can do. She's a problem for a lot of opponents, and when she's playing and playing well, so we want to continue to work towards that.
Cora, and then Jack, Caleb, and Matt.
You mentioned Tamari had some really good practices. Just how much has her showing some practice determined playing time, and also how is this game kind of more conducive for her getting more minutes than last game?
Yeah. Again, the last 2 practices, she looked like a different player, and she looked more comfortable and she looked more confident. So we wanted to make sure we got her in, and every game's different. The swings in the game are different, and they, you sometimes you go in with a game plan in terms of minutes, and it gets wiped away. But I knew going in this game we were going to get her in, and felt like if we could get them to a half-court defensive possession, that she would be able to help us.
Coach, at the player press conference, they talked a lot about wanting to be more aggressive against the press than they were. How do you think you're going to be able to be more aggressive going forward in that area?
Yeah, I think we have to have the balance, find the balance of being aggressive, but also being poised. We had some really, really good possessions against the press. Some really good ball movement that I was proud of. But we also had just some silly turnovers that we have to be better at, and I think our players understand that. And usually those moments happen because we're passive, not as aggressive as we need to be.
All right, we'll go next to Matt, and then Caleb and Maria.
Coach, 4 losses in the last 5 games to ranked opponents. In a few words, can you sum up what's been the biggest issue during the stretch?
I think every game has been different tonight. Obviously, we know they're going to score, but for us not to get to 60, tonight a big issue was our offensive production. We've seen boards be a couple of those games probably 3 of them been problems. Some has been our defensive stops down the stretch. Against Notre Dame, we couldn't get stops down the stretch. I think there's been a combination of some things. And it's been tough. I mean, it's been really hard. And, that's where our players had, you've got to be better. I told them if we lose, we better be better for it. You better learn from it, because otherwise, why we lose?
Caleb.
The players echoed that y'all had a couple of the best practices so far this year ahead of this game. Why do you think those practices didn't translate on the court tonight?
I'll be honest with you, I think they helped us. We had some good moments tonight. The negative ones seemed to outweigh the positive ones, but I think it helped us in a few areas. The translating to a game it's as much mental as it is physical. And right now, I think just the mental toughness is where we need to grow.
Maria.
I would imagine Jill Spear is frustrated at this point. Is probably not used to this in her career. How do you help her going forward? I mean, burn some basketballs, light candles. I mean, something. I mean, Jill this is so uncharacteristic of her.
Yeah, ironically, coming out of the Notre Dame game, I told her I wanted her to shoot more. I wanted her to find more shots, and felt good about it. And, she took good shots in practice and made good shots. And, I thought she took some good ones tonight, and they didn't go in. So I think for her, just finding that self-confidence, whether that's maybe we go back and watch her make shots, maybe it is just getting in the gym a little bit more, just so she feels good about it. Continuing to run things for her to get her looks. I think we've got to keep doing that. Because she's a good player. We're not going to have many games where she goes 0 for 9.
Go with Casey, Paige, and then Emily.
A higher amount of turnovers tonight. Is there anything you would have wanted to see from the team in being able to make sure Ohio State wasn't able to capitalize off them and get so many points out of them?
Yeah, we understand that they turn you over. We're not going to be perfect. We get that, but there were, 5 or 6 plays that really was on us. I just do believe it was on us, and so if you take some of those off the board, that makes a big difference, especially there in the first half when the game's still in hand, so to speak. If we take some of those silly plays off the board, take 2 points off for them, and then maybe it's a different ball game going in the second half. But I'd like to have seen us. I thought. Now, looking back at how the game was played, I think we could have been 15 or less. I really do. I think that could have been something that we controlled.
OSU's number 23, Rebecca, she had a shot at will tonight. What did she show you all that made it so difficult to stop her or slow her down?
Well, she made a couple and then she banked one in. That's tough. Anytime anybody banks in a 3, it's deflating. Just the way that we play our ball screen coverage. We're usually in drop coverage and be able to try to help clog up the paint and then get back out to contest. So we didn't get out to contest a couple times, and then obviously the one she banked in was just kind of tough.
Sarah said earlier when she was in here, she said that this Tennessee identity was also a lot around rebounding. How do you kind of think you need to get back into the zone in terms of rebounding, how you were earlier this season?
Yeah, well, I think some of that is the competition, but most of that is on us, right? I think we talked about the discipline and the toughness that you have to have on the defensive boards, and then the effort and toughness that you have to have on the offensive boards. I said at the beginning of the year, it was a major concern of mine. I'll go back to that. It's been a concern. I just didn't see it translating as quickly as I wanted it to. We did okay in the first few games, but I think for us, we've got to continue to work on that, and each and every day, which we do. I mean, we do. Man, we drill it. We work on it a lot. So we'll just have to keep doing it because we're not there yet.
A portion of the turnovers were in the half court, and didn't have much sharing. Why do you feel like, or what did Ohio State do in the half court that was so difficult to contain?
Well, they're very good defenders in the half court. I think sometimes that gets overlooked. People watch them and they think, oh, the press is great. It is, but they are very good defenders in the half court. They're very athletic. They have really good size. And they do a nice job with their gap help. So they don't give you a lot of drives, so you don't get a lot of easy opportunities. I still think some of those in half court were on us. I really did think it was more our execution. But I do have to commend their half court defense is actually stellar.
Matt, Jack, and then Maria.
Coach, I asked Ohio's coach this. It seemed like the fans had some displeasure with it along with Ohio. Your thoughts on the officiating tonight? I know that was a big issue on your sideline.
Oh, well, I can't comment on that, but, regardless of what happens there, you've got to, maintain composure and play through whatever's going on.
Jack?
A pretty significant reduction in minutes for Caroline from Wednesday. Was that just due to Tamar getting more minutes, or was it anything that had to do with how she played?
Well, she had a few turnovers there, but the majority of that was Tamari needed those minutes, and matchups wise, it was very hard to play Caroline and Tamari together. We tried it a little bit. It just wasn't the right team in there to guard them.
Take two final questions, Maria and then Casey.
A quick one first about Rakia. She's out of her boot. It just seemed to be like a positive step forward. And then Wednesday, of course, you play Middle Tennessee, but unusually this game is not in the state of Tennessee. Just how do you kind of get your team to shake off what's happened these last two games and get ready for that?
Yeah, obviously we just Rakia, it's just no change. We're still evaluating. We're still seeing her progression. I think for our team, it's a great challenge now trying to bounce back. That's a huge challenge for them. When I'm already talking about, let's find some mental toughness. You have to have mental toughness to bounce back, and you gotta have a competitive edge and drive that is relentless at this point. So that's what we need to see starting tomorrow, to be quite honest.
Casey?
Speaking of that bounce back, what would you say your confidence level is in the mindset and mentality to kind of stay even keeled and not let this affect them going forward?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we are exactly. So that is, that's obviously the big question, the big challenge that we have in front of us. And I think, every year, every team is different. We have consistently thrown tough schedules at our players. I mean, consistently played tough teams. I don't know, maybe somebody else, I don't know that anybody else has done what we've done in our schedule. But every year is different. And in the years past, last year, our team handled it. I mean, they handled it, they recovered, and it made them better. So, you know, we'll see what this team does. It's a different team, and you know, I think that is it's going to be a challenge for them, a challenge that they can absolutely handle. They can. I believe in them, and I know they can do that. But that's beyond me. That's something that they have to internalize, and something that they have to do on the court.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.